All right, so you're looking for the top three vaginal tightening gels. Well, let's dive right in. We've got three popular products from Amazon here to compare. Major Curves Ultra,
Yeah.
Veggie Rejuvenation Herbal Gels, and Isosensuals TGHT.
Yeah, it sounds like you're looking for a clear breakdown of the benefits each gel offers. So think of this as your shortcut to making a more informed choice.
Perfect. First up is Major Curves Ultra. It boasts instant results with a new and improved formula. I see witch hazel and aloe vera listed. Those are usually pretty soothing ingredients, right?
They are. Witch hazel is a natural astringent, meaning it can temporarily tighten tissues. And aloe vera is known for its moisturizing and calming properties, so that could be a good combination for like a quick confidence boost.
Okay. Plus, it's the most budget-friendly of the three, coming in at $19.97. And they even have that subscribe and save option if you're thinking long-term. Savvy marketing.
Definitely. Another key ingredient here is manjakani extract, which has a long history of traditional use for vaginal tightening. It's interesting to see those traditional remedies making their way into modern products.
Okay, that's Major Curves. Now, Veggie Rejuvenation Herbal Gels. This one goes for a botanical blend and focuses on natural tightening and pH balance.
Exactly. So this gel seems to be targeting a different need. It's not just about a temporary fix,
Hmm.
but possibly supporting long-term vaginal health, especially since they highlight benefits for menopausal women.
Yeah, and it's the priciest of the bunch at $40, but it does come with 5 applicators per box. That's a nice touch for hygiene.
Absolutely. Hygiene is crucial with these types of products. However, I am noticing limited customer reviews for this one, which could mean it's relatively new to the market. So more research might be needed to gauge its effectiveness.
Good point. All right, last but not least, we have Isosensuals, TGHT. They also promise fast-acting results and use both Manjikani and witch hazel, just like Major Curves. But one thing that caught my eye is their airless bottle design. No messy dip tube.
That airless design is a smart move. Yeah, it helps preserve the product and maintain hygiene, which, as we discussed, is essential for intimate products. They seem to be paying attention to the user experience.
Yeah, it's priced right in the middle at $39.95. And a lot of customer reviews mention its effectiveness, a pleasant smell, and ease of application.
That's good to hear. However, some reviewers did find the consistency a bit watery. So if you prefer a thicker gel, that's something to keep in mind.
Interesting. So we've got 3 gels each with a different approach to vaginal tightening.
Yes, and they all seem to offer their own set of benefits. It's important to consider what's most important to you, whether that's quick results, natural ingredients, ease of use, or a combination of factors.
Totally. So, hmm. Well, let's break down each of these a little further in terms of what's most important and see if we can help our listeners figure out, you know, which gel might be the best fit for them.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. So let's start with, we talked about Major Curves being the budget-friendly option, but what else stands out about that one to you?
Well, aside from the price, I
Uh,
think the emphasis on instant results is really key here. For someone who's looking for a quick confidence boost before a special occasion or event, this could be a really appealing option. It's like a temporary fix.
yeah,
But sometimes that's all you need, right?
right. And I think, speaking of quick fixes, it seems like a lot of the reviews for Major Curves mention um, good lubrication.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's definitely a plus, especially if dryness is a concern.
Yeah. So it seems like Major Curves is kind of like a two birds, one stone situation. You get that tightening effect, and you also get the added benefit of lubrication.
Exactly. So it's multifunctional.
Multifunctional.
I like it. It's efficient.
Okay, so we've got the budget-friendly, quick fix, lubricating, Major Curves. Now let's move on to Veggie Rejuvenation, the all-natural, more expensive option. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I think the key takeaway here is the focus on long-term vaginal health. As we mentioned earlier, it's not just about tightening, it's about promoting a healthy pH balance, which is crucial for overall vaginal well-being, especially as women go through different stages of life, like menopause, for example.
Right, and I think that's a really important point
Yeah.
because a lot of women experience changes in their vaginal health as they age, and it's not always something that's talked about openly. So it's great to see a product that's addressing those needs.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that it uses a botanical blend is also appealing to a lot of women,
Uh-huh.
who are looking for natural alternatives.
Yeah, naturals is definitely trending these days.
For sure, people are becoming more aware of the ingredients and the products they use. And they're looking for options that are gentle and safe
Yeah.
and effective.
Right. So veggie rejuvenation is kind of like, you know, the more holistic,
Yeah.
long-term approach
Mm,
to vaginal health.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Okay. So we've got Major Curves, the quick fix, and vacuum rejuvenation, the long-term solution. Now let's talk about Isosensuals TGHT, the one with the fancy airless bottle.
Right. The middle ground.
Yeah. So what makes Isosensuals stand out?
Well, I think a few things. First of all, I love the airless bottle design. It's hygienic, it's easy to use, and it helps to preserve the product so you know you're getting the most out of it.
Yeah, that's a big plus. And it seems like the customer reviews are pretty positive overall.
They are. People seem to really like the effectiveness, the pleasant smell, and the ease of application.
Right, and it's priced right in the middle. So it's not as expensive as Vagi Rejuvenation,
Yeah.
but it's also not as budget-friendly as Major Curves.
Exactly. So it's a good compromise.
A good compromise. So it seems like Isosensuals is kind of like at the Goldilocks option.
Yeah.
know? Not too hot, not too cold. Just right.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. So there you have it. 3 vaginal tightening gels, each with their own unique benefits and target audience. Major Curves for the quick fix, Vagi Rejuvenation for the long-term solution, and Isosensuals for the Goldilocks in between. Yeah, the big question is, which one is right for you?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. But hopefully after this deep dive, you're feeling a little more informed and a little more confident in making that decision.
Absolutely. Remember, knowledge is power.
Yes, it is. So go forth and tighten.
Safely and confidently.
Exactly.
And remember, if you have any concerns or questions, it's always best to consult with your healthcare provider.
Always good advice. Well, that's it for part 1 of our deep dives. Be sure to tune in for part 2, where we'll be taking a closer look at the science behind vaginal tightening and exploring some alternative methods.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Until then, stay tight.
Stay curious.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned. Major Curves seems like your go-to for a quick and budget-friendly option, while Vagi Rejuvenation focuses on natural ingredients and long-term vaginal health, especially for those experiencing menopause. Isosensuals falls somewhere in between, emphasizing user experience with its airless bottle and a pleasant scent.
That's a great summary. It seems like you're drawn to the idea of natural ingredients and long-term benefits. Vagi Rejuvenation's emphasis on pH balance is particularly interesting, especially if you're concerned about dryness or irritation.
Yeah, pH balance. That's something I've heard about, but I'm not really sure what it means. Could you break that down for me?
Of course. pH is a measure of how acidic or alkaline something is. The vagina naturally has a slightly acidic pH, which helps to keep it healthy and protect against infections. But things like menopause, certain medications, or even douching can disrupt that balance, leading to discomfort and issues like bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections.
Okay, that makes sense. So Vagi Rejuvenation is aiming to restore that natural balance.
Exactly. By promoting a healthy pH, it can help to alleviate dryness, irritation, and even unpleasant odors.
That's definitely appealing. But I also like the idea of getting a quick confidence boost, like Major Curves promises. Do you think there's any harm in trying both?
It's always best to consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new product, especially if you have any underlying health conditions. They can help you assess the potential risks and benefits and determine if these gels are right for you.
That's a good point. I wouldn't want to do anything that could make things worse. But speaking of risks, are there any potential side effects associated with these gels?
Well, these gels are generally considered safe when used as directed. It's always wise to be aware of potential sensitivities or allergic reactions. That's why doing a patch test before applying anything internally is a good idea. And of course, if you experience any unusual discomfort or irritation, discontinue use and contact your doctor.
Good advice. I'm definitely going to do my due diligence before trying anything new. But it sounds like these gels could be a helpful tool for women who are experiencing changes in their vaginal tone or health.
Absolutely. They can offer a range of benefits, from a temporary boost in confidence to long-term support for vaginal health. It's all about finding what works best for your individual needs and preferences.
Okay, so we've talked about the benefits and potential risks. Now I'm curious, are these gels the only option for vaginal tightening? I've heard of like Kegel exercises. Are those effective?
Kegel exercises are a fantastic way to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles, which play a key role in supporting the vagina and bladder. In fact, they're often recommended by healthcare professionals to improve bladder control and, yes, even enhance vaginal tightness.
So it's like a natural way to achieve similar results.
Exactly. And unlike gels, which might offer more of the temporary fix, Kegels can provide long-term benefits if you practice them consistently.
Okay, so that's something I should definitely look into. Are there any other alternatives out there?
There are. Some women explore surgical options like vaginoplasty, which is a more invasive procedure but can offer more permanent results. This is typically considered in cases of significant tissue laxity or prolapse, often due to childbirth or aging.
Surgery sounds pretty intense. Are there any downsides to that approach?
As with any surgery, vaginoplasty carries potential risks and requires a recovery period. It's important to have a thorough discussion with your doctor to weigh the benefits and risks and determine if it's the right option for you. They can assess your individual situation and recommend the best course of action.
It sounds like there's a whole spectrum of options, from simple exercises to more complex procedures.
You got it. And that's why it's so important to do your research, understand the pros and cons of each approach, and most importantly, consult with your healthcare provider to make an informed decision. They can guide you towards the best solution for your specific needs and concerns.
This has been super helpful. I feel like I have a much better grasp of the different options out there.
Glad to hear it. Knowledge is power, and when it comes to something as personal as vaginal health, being informed is key.
Okay, so we've explored these three popular gels: Major Curves, Vagi Rejuvenation, and Isosensuals. But are there any other important factors to consider when making a choice?
One thing we haven't really touched on yet is the emotional aspect of vaginal health. Many women feel insecure or self-conscious about changes in their vaginal tone or appearance, and it's important to remember that. These changes are completely natural, often just a part of life's journey.
That's so true. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in societal pressures and unrealistic beauty standards. We need to be kinder to ourselves and embrace our bodies at every stage.
Absolutely. And if these changes are causing you emotional distress, don't hesitate to seek support from a therapist or counselor.
It's all about taking care of our whole selves, right? Mind and body.
Exactly. So when considering these vaginal tightening gels, or any product for that matter, approach it from a place of self-care and empowerment. Choose what feels right for you. And don't be afraid to prioritize your own comfort and confidence.
Well said. What stands out to you from all this information? What are your priorities? Immediate results, natural ingredients, long-term benefits, or something else entirely?
Well, here's a thought. Have you considered looking beyond Amazon to specialty stores or your healthcare provider for even more options?
That's a great point. Yeah, sometimes we get so focused on online shopping that we forget about those other valuable resources.
Yeah, and one final thought to leave you with. While these products can offer a range of benefits, true confidence comes from within. Embrace your body, celebrate your sexuality, and remember that intimacy is about connection and pleasure, not just physical tightness.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of vaginal tightening gels. We've unpacked the ingredients, explored the potential benefits and risks, and even touched on the emotional side of things. Hopefully you're feeling more informed and empowered to make a choice that aligns with your personal needs and priorities. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing your amazing self.